as much as I don't really want to cover this, we're going to have to cover the North London derby.
Scared, are you, Rob? Scared.
Yes. It's not been a very good season so far for Arsenal. Let's put it that way. We lie in 14th position. Our midfield is about as useful as Big Dave and Wonky Steve on a night out trying to offer people Bolivian marching powder. And like we just have no confidence from front to back.
You just got one person going, "Oh mate, London's red." No mate, it's blue. Blue? No, it's not blue. Fucking hell.
Blue?
That's completely
Chelsea?
different, mate. It's red. It's red. This pen is.
Lie reference. Nice.
I think I was doing that on my alien thing yesterday.
Oh, it's going off the rails. So we haven't really done that well in North London derbies in the past couple of years. We used to win them all the bloody time, right? From about 1993 to 2011, I would say, or 2010, we were completely unbeaten at Highbury / the Emirates, our home ground, basically. And then since about 2015, I would say.
Yeah.
15, 16, it's just completely like we have really struggled to get a result in North London derbies, particularly at White Hart Lane, which seems to be a bit of a cursed ground for us.
Yeah.
Of late. But some of the memorable North London derbies we've had over the years, there was the 5-4 in the 2004-05 season, where basically it was a fantastic game of football. We had goals from Vieira and Pires. This was the year after the unbeaten season. We had, obviously, when we won the league at White Hart Lane, where we were 2-0 up, actually, and you drew 2-2 with a Robbie Keane last-minute penalty. But we won the league at White Hart Lane, which is always nice if you're an Arsenal fan. We had the game in the 2010-11 season where Danny Rose scored that thunderbolt from about 20 yards away.
Was that? I'm not sure. Was that the last good thing he ever did?
Quite possibly. I mean, it's the only thing he ever did against us. That's for sure. We had we had Thomas Rositzky, my boy. Thomas Rositzky.
I remember playing FIFA 06. He was always on the bench.
But no, I mean, he's a cult hero of mine, Thomas Rositzky, for Arsenal. He's for one thing, he's a metalhead footballer, which is what you very rarely get in football nowadays.
I know.
You know, most footballers' music tastes are kind of mainstream.
How do you think I feel after every one of our goals we get Darude fucking Sandstorm? Change it.
Well, you know what? At the Emirates, I've been to the Europa League game at the Emirates, and we've actually played The Game by Motorhead, which was Triple H's theme in WWE.
Yeah, that's cool.
As a pre-match
stupid
song.
fucking meme song. Just out with it.
Yeah. Greg, as you quite rightly point out, we were 2-0 up in 2010-11 season at the Emirates, and you won 3... or maybe we were 2-1 up, I can't remember, but I know Shamak scored in that game, and you won with a Yunus Kabul winner. Yunus bloody Kabul. But yeah, Thomas Rositzky, sorry, I was getting on to. He scored the winner in a 1-0 win at White Hart Lane. Absolute rocket it was. He metalhead footballer. I believe in his playlist, he had an Arsenal playlist thing on the Arsenal YouTube channel, where he cited Killswitch Engage, Silosis, Metallica as some of his favourite bands.
Nice.
So, I mean, he's a win. You know, I love him.
You can't go wrong, can you? I mean, you just got to hope tomorrow that Sissoko doesn't score. Otherwise, that would be really embarrassing. Whenever he scores against any team.
Mate, Davison Sanchez.
Oh, my God.
If he scores the winner, I will actually, leave the country.
I just feel like
I can't even.
Yeah, but then how do you think I feel? Because I'd then be forced to say, should we keep him or should we not? I already kind of want him out the door in a sense because he's just getting worse and worse and worse. And then he scores, and I'm like, my mind is twisted now.
Exactly.
I'm in a dilemma. Should I keep him or should I stay or should I go? You know, he's a bloody cult master.
A few other notable North London derbies recently, just to wrap it all up. Beating you 5-2 twice.
You're welcome. We let you in.
Once under Harry Redknapp, where Theo scored a hat-trick, and then the second time round, it was a Cazorla, Podolski, Giroud show. Both times at the Emirates. Then that win, basically the only good thing that happened under Unai Emery was that North London derby at the Emirates. With a Lucas Torreira, his first goal for Arsenal, and then taking off that shirt.
Yeah, it's weird, because when you look at players who have like moved from London team to London team, you see Spurs players move from Spurs to Arsenal, but the Arsenal players, they can move from Arsenal to Chelsea and then Chelsea to Arsenal, and it's never like I've hardly seen it Spurs to Chelsea or Arsenal to Spurs or even Chelsea to Spurs, to be honest.
Yeah, Arsenal to Spurs is the only one that comes to mind is Gallas, but I think he might have moved somewhere else before he went to Tottenham.
Yeah, but I think Greg was saying Davinson Sanchez, and he's stringing up, take him off for Milan Skriniar. Like, I feared that we are like number one team in for Skriniar, and I hope that we can, get Skriniar in. He's being valued at the moment at 45 million, so I hope that we can get him down from that, because Inter I think they are quite desperate to sell him at the moment, so that might help get a bargain price for him, and he's a world-class defender as well, so to have something like that on your team would be great, because the thing is, we've got Eric Dyer and Toby, who are like leaders in that defense at the moment, and they're kind of coaching Rodon with his natural ability at the moment, because he's still quite young, and then you've got Sanchez, who's just on this decline, and we've already sold Foyth because we just never used him. He didn't exactly cover himself in glory, Foyth, in the Unai Emery win over you lot of the Emirates. The last person is Tanganga, who Jose has already said he sees him more as a fullback than a centre half, so you can't really have him as a solid centre back in that sense if he sees him more as a right
at least
back.
At least you have sent. I mean, the one thing from this week, right, which I was quite pleased about, because obviously people are bringing fans back to the stadiums now.
Yeah.
For certain teams. We played Rapid Vienna during the week and we won 4-1. And Lacazette's goal, by the way, was an absolute rocket. And the fact that that was our first goal with fans back at the Emirates for 9 months I was very pleased about that. That put a little bit of a smile on my face.
Yeah.
And Pablo Mari is back, which I'm very, very pleased about, because he's definitely one of our better centre-back options, right? He's been out for 6 months, right? He got injured in our first game back after the season got postponed, which was against Man City. He immediately injured himself, like in the first. Well, maybe it wasn't him, but I seem to remember all of our players got injured that game, and David Luiz got sent off.
Oh, there's a shocker.
Yeah, there's a shocker, right? So I'm hoping he starts Mari against you lot.
Yeah.
I'm also hoping I can't believe I'm saying this. I think it's time to drop Aubameyang.
Well, I don't know. I think it's just, like you said, he's in the wrong position. I don't like Lacazette. They should get someone in to fill that left winger spot and put Aubameyang back in that striker position, because he's just not. He's a big powerful guy, and he can get into the box and he can win headers and stuff. And I think in that, from what I see in that left midfield or left winger position, he can't exactly do those extra things. That's why you can't, from my perspective, you can't see Harry Kane as a fully fledged central attack, because that does not allow him to drop deep in many situations, because he can go up front if there's already cover in that attacking midfield. Yeah.
Now, Harry Kane, is he injured?
No. So I think it was more of I think it was more for safety, leaving him out of that game.
A precaution. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know what was happening in that game. There was just not much drive from the players. I don't know if it's to do with pride from not being in the UCL, which I think is stupid, because if you don't, the Europa still matters for something, you know. And it's just not wise to keep team spirits up by just like bottling games like that. At least because the thing is, we didn't win. Sorry, we drew, but we caught up with penalties. Like Gareth Bale scored the first penalty, and then Dele Alli scored the second one, and Son scored his own goal. Whereas they scored absolute belters. I mean, you could blame Joe Hart for that kind of stuff, but those situations shouldn't have to be a thing in the first place. And I think at the moment we've got to get over this idea of scoring a few up and then just hoping to just keep the defense on. Whereas, you know, I think it's just the press is important. I know Ndombele isn't. He's not a full match fitness. Like he's gassed at like 60 minutes, so it's hard to keep him on for the entire game. But then that's why you got Lo Celso, because I think having both of them on the pitch at the same time would just work absolute wonders. But it's not very possible at the moment because of that fact. There's not many. I don't think there's a lot of players at the moment that are fully match fit. The ones that are, like Harry Kane, Eric Dyer, Toby, you know, a lot of those elite sort of players. Son, even Lucas is probably the most fit out of Bergwijn and Bale. So yeah, I think that is our one big weakness at the moment, is just the match fitness. And I think Doherty, I still want to be patient with him because like he's been having quite average matches, whereas Aurier is just, since he's had that competition, he's just blazed it. Yeah, he still gives away the odd free kick, but you know, in terms of his work rate and things like that, I think he does a much better job than Doherty at the moment.
Yeah. So I mean, I apart from the match fitness issue, I really can't think of a reason that you need to worry for tomorrow.
Yeah, I just think football's my thing has always been about football being a very unpredictable game and anything can happen. You know, everybody was saying about the match last week, like, oh yeah, we're going to go up 2-0 or 3-0. A lot of people were saying that, but I was like, hang on now. You know, we just about beat them in the Carabao Cup with their first team and stuff, and anything could happen again. So it's all...
Well, you know, it's... I'm really struggling to put into words our problems this season. You know, just too many people in our side that just do not care, are just there for the money. They really, I don't know whether it's the situation of the pandemic affecting them, because you know we have a very versatile, diverse team in terms of the amount of nationalities that we have in our squad.
But at the same time, everybody's affected by the pandemic. Every single player, you know.
But I'm just trying to come up with excuses as to why we've been so poor this season. Because, I mean, at the beginning of the season, I was super confident in this team, especially when we signed Partey. I thought this was like the next piece of the puzzle, you know, and it would complete the puzzle, and then we would go off into the sunset happily.
Yeah.
The reverse has happened. We've somehow regressed from how we were last season.
This
is the worst start to a Premier League, to a league season we've had since about 1904.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and it just boggles my mind how this team, Arteta just cannot get a good result out of them, you know, because all the elements I think are there. They really are. You know, I think Tierney is, he's solid. We've got a solid goalkeeper in Leno. We've got Partey as a solid box-to-box midfielder. We have Aubameyang who scored goals for fun, and for whatever reason, it's just not happening for us.
And even like Willian, when he was at Chelsea, even when he's like 33.
Willian, he showed promise at the very beginning, and now I don't want him anywhere near the first team squad. You know,
I can see what you mean. Yeah,
it just there's no words sometimes really for how embarrassing we are.
But it's I just like seeing how well Pepe did in the. It was Serie A, wasn't it? He was at before he joined you guys.
No, it was Ligue 1. He was at Lille.
Oh right. Yeah, but seeing how he was at there, showing promise there, and then comes to Arsenal, and then damn,
I think he had his season, right? He had his season to embed in the team and develop and get the most out of himself. Now the novelty is very, very much wearing off with him, and really, I would probably sell him. If we can't get anything out of him at this stage, then I don't think we can get anything out of him. If that makes sense.
I think, so far, I think our transfers, I think they've been promising. We've looked at what they've done previously and said, oh, can they fit into this current team? Can they fill the gaps? Højbjerg has definitely done that. I think he's probably been the best transfer that we've made. I think for the difference of swapping him with Walker Peters, he's been just insane. Like, for spending 3 million on him is just wow. What he has done so far is absolutely gold. He's like such a key player now. Who else? Then Doherty. I think we needed a right back, but I don't know. Doherty played in a completely different system, so it's hard to fit him in Jose's system, where he's expected to be a bit more defensive. Reguilon, we didn't have that threatening prowess on the left hand side, and now with Reguilon and it is just his pace and his reactions and stuff like that. He's just been really good. Bale, I think when he's back up to full fitness, he will find a spark again. And then who else did we do? Carlos Vinicius. I think he's showing promise as well. And Jose did definitely say that he has potential to play in a 2 up front situation. Rodon, yeah, absolutely. We haven't seen much from Rodon at the moment. I mean, there was that mistake last game where he headed the ball and Giroud almost scored. Yeah, but I don't think it excuses the fact that he made it. He helped provide a clean sheet in that game as well. So
speaking of Giroud, he scored 4 goals for Chelsea.
Yeah,
becoming the oldest goal scorer in Champions League to score 4 goals ever, or something like that in one game. And my heart obviously sank when I read that.
He's
it's like as if things can't get any worse. One of our former strikers is still breaking records in the Champions League for another team.
Yeah, I think. It's just Giroud just seems more underrated because Lampard seems to want to play. I always
liked Giroud.
Yeah, I can understand why he wants to develop Abraham because he's younger, but Giroud has so much fight in him at his age.
There was the inconsistency issue with Giroud when he played for us. And, some people can point the fingers of the year we came second to Leicester in the league. Ozil was providing a massive creative spark and Giroud just was not delivering.
But I think now with Chelsea's high pressing sort of style, Giroud is in those positions where he can deliver, where he can finish quite effectively. Like, I remember when we played them and we lost 2-0 against them last season because I think it was Marcus Alonso and Giroud who scored, and Marcus Alonso was just pretty much on fire in that game, and we thought we could get back, and then we lost Son.
Yeah, but so just really, so let's look at our signings, right? So we got in Runarsson, who is he's a backup keeper. I still don't think we should have got rid of Martinez. We brought in Gabriel from Lille, who he's still adapting really at the end of the day, and it's a bit much to throw him in at the deep end, really. Same as I'm just trying to make excuses for these players because I cannot fathom why this team is not gelling with each other. And I don't know why Arteta has almost reverted back to Emery ball, the negative approach to all of our games. It's almost as if we're frightened somehow to play creative, free-flowing, attacking football.
You're trying to. It sounds like you're trying to drop back deep and then provide the counter attack. But then, without that creativity in the midfield, that can't happen.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, I don't want to really come across as like one of these plebs on, you know, who these entitled plebs on Arsenal Fan TV or whatever. But it's not the Arsenal way to play so negatively. That's not, you know, we need a bit of creative spark up top, and we're not going to get that with Danny Ceballos and Willian at the moment in the form that they're in. This is like the worst midfield I've since the days of Hillier, McGoldrick, Selly, and Helder in the 90s. You know, where's the Robert Pires and the Freddie Lundberg and the Patrick Vieira?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, this following Balogun kid, you know, he scored a goal in the Europa League. He could potentially be saying, but he's 19 years old. You know, we have Martinelli still to come back, but he's 19 years old. You know, Eddie, he's kind of still inconsistent in front of goal. You know, I know he scored the other night, and he's clearly getting there, right? I don't even know.
Speechless now.
I honestly, I dread to think what the score is going to be tomorrow.
Well,
I could see you absolutely. I don't even want to say it. I can see you absolutely decimating us, right? Because Arteta just the players just are not playing for Arteta at the moment.
Well,
and Arteta seemingly inherited a kind of mishmash bag of mercenaries, some of which were brought in during Arsene Wenger's tenure and, you know, grew up in that system, and some of which you know, kind of played Emery ball as their first experience of Arsenal, and it's just not galvanizing.
I feel like the games where we absolutely come alive are the derbies and against teams like Man City. Like, whenever we play Man City, we're like, not to sound too big-headed or anything, but we are pretty much a bogey team for them. Like, with the last few results, because it's been 2-0, 2-0, draw, 2-2 draw. So yeah, I don't think the last time they beat us was in the 2018-19 season, 1-0, and in the Champions League. But you know, we still got through from that because of the away goal rule. So there's that. So like I said, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Let's have more light-hearted stuff for now, and then
I just want just to wrap it up, right? A statement needs to happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Very, very soon, right? From us.
Yeah.
Whether it be from the board and deciding they can no longer have Arteta at the helm and getting someone with real experience in who can galvanize the team and get us playing nice, free-flowing, attacking, passing football again.
Yeah.
Or Arteta smacks everyone upside the head in the team and just goes, wake up, play for me, do what I want you to do.
Yeah, because I think, you know, you've got to hand it to
Otherwise,
teams.
I am very much dreading the rest of this season.
I mean, the teams I'm most proud of besides Spurs at the moment are probably like Liverpool and Southampton, because Southampton didn't have the best start, but look at how they've played since then. You know, the beating they gave to Everton and that kind of stuff. And Liverpool, with the amount of injuries they've got, and they're still high in the league, still drawn points with us, and you know, they're still able to pull wins and draws out of the bag. It's you know, good on them for that. So that's pretty much what I'll say about it.
Greg, Greg says, what you really want is for us to pepper you 5-0 so you get a new manager. I mean, if you know what, if it comes down to that, and you know, it means that some of our players can fucking wake up and smell the coffee, then I'm perfectly content with that. You know. Right.